Hey, how we doing? Today I'm doing the Hackviser warm-up Venomous. So we'll start a machine, and this warm-up machine focuses on teaching how to exploit the directory traversal vulnerability, which causes access to the file system on the server, and an LF5 vulnerability, which causes inclusion of local files in the web application. It's recommended for practicing detecting and exploiting file upload, directory traversal, and LF5 vulnerabilities in web applications. Running on Nginx web server and getting a reverse shell using log poisoning. So we're going to answer these questions. So we've got our IP already, so we've got our VPN connected to Hackviser, so we'll just copy the IP and we'll do a Rust scan. Put our IP in there. Rust scan will do an Nmap scan as well. So we can see we've got port 80s open at the moment, that's all it's found. So we can have a look at port 80. Put our IP in there, and we've got a good shoppy. That's loading the web page. What's the first question we have to answer? What is the name of the running web server? So it's still looking for open ports. So we can see our web server is Nginx 1.18. It's found there, so let's answer the first question, Nginx. This web page is taking a long time. Here we go. Alright, so we've got home and invoice. Customer management. So we can have a look at the source page. See if there's any information on here we could use to help exploit the target, but doesn't look like it. There's not much on there. So we'll close that one. We have an invoice link here. Welcome to Good Shoppy, and we can download a report there. So we've got invoice.php, so we know it's running PHP. So the next question is, what is the get parameter used to display an invoice? So if we click on download report, we can see we've got a show invoice.php with a get parameter of invoice, and it equals invoice. So it looks like we've got an LF5 vulnerability here. So if we go try and test it out, so we'll do a try and read the password file, and it's not reading anything there, so we'll go one more step. Still nothing. Try another step. and it's still not reading it, so try another one. And there we go, we found our password file for the target. That's 4 steps in, and we've got a user Hackviser by the look of it. So this question was, it's a get parameter used to display an invoice, so it's invoice. What is the payload of the directory transversal attack to access the password file in the system? So the payload is this one here, ////// etc password. That's our payload. Next question. What does LFI vulnerability stand for? Okay, so we can have a look at LFI vulnerability, and there's our answer there, local file inclusion. So this vulnerability allows attackers to include and potentially execute files on the web server that they shouldn't have access to. This can lead to sensitive information disclosure, code execution, or even complete server compromise. LFI vulnerabilities typically arise when a web application uses user-supplied input to construct file paths without proper validation or sanitization. So we can see here we're able to read this file, which we shouldn't be able to. So that's the LFI vulnerability. Okay, what's the next question? What is the default path of Nginx access logs? So we'll use Google again, and we'll say Nginx access log location, and we can see there it is there. We've got var log nginx access.log. So we'll copy that one. And we should be able to read the log files by putting that in here. And we can see, there you go, we can read all the log files. And we'll see how our map scan's going. And there we go, it's finished. So we only found one port open. Nginx 1.180 is the web server. It's good shoppy, and it's running Linux. So that's all it's open on this machine. Okay, so we can read the log files there. Next question. What is the IP address of the user who first accessed the site? So we've got our access logs there. Can't see any IP addresses in there, but if we look at view the page source, we can see it's just my IP address there. So that's not the answer. Okay, so we can close that one. Nginx logs are handled by a service called logrotate. Logrotate saves old access log files with names like access log.1 and access log.2. So let's try access log.1. And there we go, we see an IP address now, 10.0.10.4. So if we do page source. You can see it a bit better. So that's the answer there, 10.0.10.4 for that question. The IP address of the user who first accessed the site. And what is the last modified time of show invoice.php file? Okay, to find that we need to go on the machine, try and get a connection to it. So we can close that one, we can close this one. So what we'll do is we'll use Burp to intercept a request from the web server. So we've got Burp running here, so we've got our intercepts on. We'll turn on Foxy Proxy and we'll say download a report. Download a report. There we go, and we'll send this to repeater. Okay, so to get a connection we need to change this, try and get a code execution on the machine. So we'll get rid of this, change the user agent to a PHP payload in there. So we'll do a arrow, question mark, and PHP, system, and a bracket, and $sign is called get, bracket, and we'll say C for the command. And we need to close the bracket, and then a apostrophe, question mark. Okay, so now we should be able to get rid of that. And we should be able to put our log, put this one in there. So we're able to read it with the var log, nginx access log file. So we've got and ID, and if we have a look, we can see our access log file, and we can see we're getting www data, so we're getting our ID there. Okay, so now all we've got to do is try and get a reverse shell. So what we'll use is we'll use this on reverseshells.com. We'll use this ncmk FIFO payload. We're going to use port 1337 to listen on. We've got our VPN IP in there. So we'll copy that one and we'll just paste it in there, and we're going to we need to URL encode it, so we'll copy that and we'll right click, convert selection URL, and say all key characters. And before we send that, we just need to start a listener ready on our machine. So start a listener on 1337. That's ready and listening. So now we'll send, and it's saying waiting, so let's have a look and see if we have a connection. And there we go. www
www.data debian html. So we have a connection. So we can do ID, and there we go. We're connected to the target. So now if we do ls, what's the question we have to answer is, what is the last modified time of the show invoice.php file? So we can do ls-la, and we can see the show invoice.php file. We've only got the date. We don't have the time. So if we do ls -help, and we can see all the help menu here to help us. Let's have a look. So we have the full time here, so we use that command. Full time should give us the time. So we'll do ls-l a, and the file was show invoice.php, and we're going to do -- full time, and there we go. So it's 1923 is the time it was last modified, so 7:23 PM. So I think that's about it for that one. The last modified time is 7:23. So yep, that's it. That's that one done. Cool. So any questions, put them in the comments, and have a good one. Catch you next time.